I'm Scott Ott, and here's a thought. Here are my top 10 reasons why I do not and will not support Donald Trump for the Republican nomination for the presidency. Or for you Trumpians, here's why I'm a RINO establishment, Israel-loving, ISIS-enabling, China-worshipping, Mexico-wooing, in-the-tank, Cuckservative, phony Christian who's trying to destroy the Republican frontrunner, the only one who can save our country, the one for whom we've been praying all these years. Reason number 1. Donald Trump doesn't know or care about the U.S. Constitution, which is probably why he rarely brings it up. There's no indication in Trump's public remarks or writings that he sees any restraint on the federal government's power to do any of the following: to take private property, to own or control vast expanses of land, to run businesses at public expense such as health insurance, to penalize profits through progressive taxation, to punish people engaged in international trade, and to drive up the cost of imported goods that you see at the store each week. His standard is not the Constitution, but rather his own vision of an outcome-based economy. He sees government as a useful and essential tool to mold markets to suit his desired results. In other words, he's a Democrat. Reason number 2. Trump is insincere in his professed faith. It's not that he's a weak Christian or a poor biblical scholar unable to name a favorite verse or to even correctly pronounce a New Testament letter's name. It's that he has no clue about the gospel but claims to revere the Bible when it suits him. Now, the Constitution says that no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification for any office, so I don't care if he's a Christian or a Buddhist or an atheist. But a man who claims that he's a very, very proud Presbyterian but has never asked for forgiveness is simply ignorant of the gospel. He's merely pandering. Reason number 3. Donald Trump is insincere in his praise, but also in his attacks. Everyone loves Trump, to hear Trump tell it, and yet there's no person, nation, or state that Trump won't insult given the chance. But it's not just his vicious degradation of others that calls into question his character or his leadership skills. It's the fact that he doesn't really even believe what he's saying. From one side of his mouth, corrosive degradation spews, and yet a moment later, from the other side, he professes his love for the victim of his attack. Anyone who's ever been a victim of domestic violence understands the pattern. Reason number 4. Trump is insincere in his political allegiances. Donald Trump has changed his political affiliation from Republican to Democrat to Independent to Republican multiple times over the years. He's made major political contributions to Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and other Democrats. He's backed abortion, stricter gun laws, universal health care, progressive taxation, and a variety of other Democratic tropes. He's also opposed all those things at various times. And there's no indication that this political chameleon has undergone some sort of ideological or principled metamorphosis. And don't even tell me he's like former Democrat Ronald Reagan. The Gipper devoted years to giving speeches to audiences across the country, proving that he fully understood the constitutional implications of ideas and what it really means to be a Republican. You, Mr. Trump, are no Ronald Reagan. Far from being principled, Mr. Trump has demonstrated that everything to him is negotiable, situational, transactional. He says what suits him in the moment. Reason number 5. Donald Trump is not going to change the crony atmosphere in Washington, D.C. He is the crony atmosphere in Washington, D.C. Trump not only admits, but he actually brags about how he's used his money to influence politicians and get them to do his bidding. To believe that Donald Trump is going to break up the old boys network in Washington, D.C. is to believe that a shark will go vegan. Donald Trump is not the one who's going to save us from the corruption in Washington. He's been a passenger on the gravy train, and now he wants to be the conductor and the engineer. Reason number 6. Trump talks like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, at best. At worst, like a dictator. When asked how he'll accomplish any of his objectives, Donald Trump has 2 and only 2 answers. Number 1, I'll hire smart people. That's FDR. Number 2, I'll fix it because I'm Donald Trump. That's a dictator. He's already established a cult of personality with a cadre of followers who believe that he can do no wrong. He's the only one who can fix it, and anyone who disagrees with that must be marginalized and silenced. Donald Trump never tells it like it is. He tells his supporters what they want to hear. Reason number 7. Trump is accountable to no one, or rather, to only one. Trump often claims that his campaign is self-funded, and therefore he is accountable to no one but the American people. If that were true, and it's not, like so much of what he says, then he would be accountable to no one but Donald Trump. The greatest risk to any system is a single point of failure. I'd rather vote for a candidate who had to go panhandling for support than one who could later claim that he personally purchased the office with his own cash. Reason number 8. Donald Trump lies about his 4 major bankruptcies. Although he's never filed for personal bankruptcy, It's a distinction without a difference for thousands of people who were personally injured by Donald Trump's hubris in his wholly owned casinos. He came to Atlantic City when the casino bubble was already deflating. He lied to the Gaming Commission about the source of his funding, borrowed too much money, and paid unsustainably high interest rates. When he left town, he got one of his casinos to pay him a huge consulting fee to go away. He paid off a loan to his dad with casino chips as good as cash, while his contractors and other creditors stood in line at bankruptcy court, getting pennies on a dollar. Trump portrays this as a great business decision since he got out while the getting was good. The truth is, he got in late, made bad deals, lied to investors and regulators, got out early, and made others pay for his bad decisions. Which brings us naturally to reason number 9. Donald J. Trump made a fortune off taxing stupid people through casino gambling. Now, I think people should be free to gamble if they want to, but I don't want the President of the United States to be a guy who made a fortune by getting them liquored up and picking their pockets. The false hope engendered by gambling is not a conservative value. Reason number 10. Trump is the fair-haired boy of the mainstream media. For now, the myth is that Donald Trump is a media butt kicker. The truth is that Trump is a media kisser. The mainstream media news sources love Donald Trump because he's a hurricane and an O.J. Simpson Bronco chase all wrapped up in one. No candidate gets more coverage, no candidate kisses more media keister, no candidate cares more what reporters say and what their polls say than Donald J. Trump does. Even his dust-up with Meg and Kelly endeared him to the media, especially with Fox News. All the media cares about is eyeballs, and Donald Trump delivers them. He's the shark, they're the remora. They need each other, and they will all the way up through the Republican convention. After that, the media will turn on him, along with the Clintons, to devour him. Well, there you have it. That's why I'm a RINO establishment, Israel-loving, ISIS-enabling, China-worshipping, Mexico-wooing, in-the-tank, phony Christian Cuckservative who's trying to destroy the Republican frontrunner, the only one who can make America great again, the one for whom we've been praying all these years. I'm Scott Ott, and there's a thought.